We're back.
We accept the challenge of providing dangerous, thought-provoking, and sometimes controversial insights into life's most common topics.
I don't know why I packed the hollow points.
Did you just say hollow points?
Yeah. Probably should have brought a super soaker.
So we started this season off with the nagging truths and letting people know or our points on when a nag has begun or when somebody is nagging. And then we went through that progression in later episodes to talk about communicating through conflict. And then we had an episode where we had documented what women think they want. And one of the things that they said they wanted was honesty. It was one of the top things. Communication and honesty came up quite a bit. And so one of our most recent episodes was when Shauna and I talked about, which was titled Why Women Are Great Problem Builders. And it was something she wanted to speak about, which is the difference between honesty and transparency. And so the reality of the situation is these are reoccurring words that come up in relationships, whether they be romantic or platonic or business or whatever the case may be. This honest, transparent communication keeps coming up over and over again. And I came across a clip on the shorts for YouTube, and it's by someone that's at progress.portal. And so that's at progress.portal. And it was about the power of the perspective of love and truth. So I want to play that. And then I want to get your point on how you feel they are speaking to each other and how solid the information that they're providing is and whose side are you on? Because ultimately you got to pick a side. And I know you're on the side of justice, but we'll see who's representing justice in this.
All right, y'all starting to scare me with these clips, but I'm ready.
Yes, Lord. Hey, we getting infected by the social media, bro. Get on the board, bro. Get on board. All right, here we go.
I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me. And you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. But Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
But what does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat
You
you.
must. You must. I've got the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come on when I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. So I'm saying, fake it with me.
I can't give a performance all day on the job and come home and give a performance all night in the house.
Okay, so one of the performances will stop.
Yes, but who's going to pay the rent?
The rent will have to get paid.
The price of the rent is my smile.
Okay, so in the concept of he ended with the price of the rent is my smile.
Yeah, I'm still taking it all in.
So tell me what's your point on that. Tell me what's your point on that, because she want him to be at the job and smiling all in these, she said, cracker in these white folks' face and playing the role. And then if they getting all that goodness and that subdued emotion, she want him to come home because she says she catching hell when he get home. And so she wants it to be different. How does that work in a good, loving relationship? Because it seems disgenuine.
It's a lot to unpack here. So
Yes.
he just told her he get paid for that smile up there. What is she? Is she paying him for this? I don't think she's paying him.
Not in W-2s, but not in taxable.
In what?
Not in taxable. I hope in these meals and this love. That's what I hope for these good black people.
In love. Okay. So she's saying she needs him to treat her as he does the dude at work. Man, we can start, but what's going through my mind is a lot of stuff, but this is kind of like sandwiches.
It is. So let's do this. Let's uncover the concept. Let me just set a baseline though, because I think it's hard for you to combat someone who's willing to lie to themselves, right? People that are somewhat delusional. So let's say the baseline on the classic determination of truth and honesty. Honesty is being truthful and sincere and refraining from lying or cheating or stealing. Honesty is the foundation of trust, credibility, and respect. Truth is representing facts of the situation. Truth is important because believing what is not true can have serious consequences. So honesty is being truthful and sincere, while truth is representing just the facts of the situation. They are not exactly the same thing. So explain to me how somebody could convince themselves, or give us the story about somebody convincing themselves that they actually don't like sandwiches.
Yeah, so what the sickness in this is she's saying, I know you're not happy. I'm not
Mhm.
willing to do what it takes to make you happy,
Mhm.
but I do need you to pretend you are. I don't care what it takes to make you genuinely happy. Pretend you
Ooh.
are.
Okay. Okay. She is asking
And
for
to
that.
me, that is sick. But when we're talking about sandwiches,
Mhm.
the sandwich sickness, sandwich syndrome. I don't know if you remember or not, but as I tell you, let me know
Mhm.
if I'm off base.
Okay. I'll
So
color it in.
you were sitting down talking to your mentee, right?
Okay. I'll allow it.
I was working on something else. Um, Me and your mentee is we weren't on we weren't on as much as the same page as y'all were. So y'all
Okay.
were really talking. And when you
Okay.
have mentees, I don't know if you know this or not, you kind of mentor their career, but you typically sometimes help their life because they end up needing more than career. They need life help.
It starts with your life as work-life balance. I get you.
Yeah. So your mentee, and I don't even know how y'all got to this point, but was frustrated and upset because she met a really nice gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he looked good enough,
Mm-hmm.
passed the background check,
Mm-hmm.
passed the screening, passed everything. And it's to the point like he like, I want to see you.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, I'm feeling you too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, hey, we both have these busy lives. You got a kid, all this stuff. Why don't I take you to lunch? She was like, for sure. They go to lunch. She's upset. The reason she's upset is not because he didn't pay, not because conversation didn't go well, not because his what he was wearing, popped a
Mm-hmm.
balloon now. They'll
Mm-hmm.
pop it because what you have on or your belt or something.
Right.
It was because he took her to a place for lunch in America
Mm-hmm.
that serves sandwiches. And I do admittedly have a case of the can't help it. And I said, what's wrong with that? You don't like sandwiches? Because I thought they had been communicating and maybe she would have voiced her opinion of sandwiches. She said, no, I don't like sandwiches. I said, you don't? No, I don't eat sandwiches. And you know how I can't leave it alone. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
so you don't like bread? Typically people who don't like sandwiches, maybe they're gluten free or
Right. Right.
they don't
Right.
like bread. She said, oh no, I love bread. So I'm more confused at this point. I said, you don't like sliced meat or you don't like uh do you like meat? Or she said, yeah, I like meat. Like meatball and stuff. Yeah, I
Right.
like that.
Right. Right.
Like turkey and yeah, I like turkey. And I get more and more confused. I said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you eat cheese? Yeah, I eat cheese. What about lettuce? Yeah, I like lettuce. Tomato? Like I'm getting more and more confused at this point. Pickles?
More into the
Like
components. Right. Right.
yeah. So I'm going through the stuff. Like I
Yeah.
said, oh, I get it. You don't like you like the food individually, but you don't like your food touching. You one of those type of people. She said, I don't mind
Mm-hmm.
my food touching. I said, wait a minute. You like bread, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, honey mustard,
Right.
and you don't mind if it's all touching. You like sandwiches. And at that point, she had
So
already admitted she liked all these things. And she said,
all these things, correct.
I do like sandwiches, but we were going out on a first date. And that's
Yep.
not where you take
Take
somebody
somebody.
on a
Yep.
first date.
Absolutely. So this is years before the Cheesecake Factory fiasco, right? The
Yeah,
viral video that
years
years
before.
before that. Golly, probably 8 years before. The unfortunate part was I was there and she didn't see the deconstruction of the argument that you were presenting.
You
because
saw
you
it.
did
That's
it.
why you
I
let me
did.
keep going.
I did. I did.
But
And you
I
did.
didn't even see it. You saw it before me because I was
Well,
still confused, remember?
for the sake of retelling the story, you kind of went through, but it was a lot more pregnant pauses in your confusion and you coming back to, wait a second. So you must not like this. Wait a second, you must like that. At this time, though, to her credit, she had been divorced and she was in a situation where she had created a list of what she was going to have in a man next time. And she was so prescriptive on that list that she couldn't absorb reality or the nuances of how things are. And instead of her expressing herself, she thought that he should have came pre-made for her. Like God should have ordained him with all of the nuances and things that she likes and dislikes built in. And so there was no way he should have took her to Jason's Deli or or Jimmy John's or wherever the case may be. But instead of her just saying
Yeah.
she would have preferred to go to a chop house or to a tablecloth across the arm type spot, she made it about the sandwiches. And unfortunately, she just had a mental block for her own success. And I don't think she actually felt better when you exposed the fact that she likes sandwiches. But the reality of it is, this is where the truth part of it comes in, right? The truth is representing the facts of the situation. And the facts of the situation is she likes all the things that are collectively constructed to make a sandwich, but she blamed a bad date with this gentleman who had made it up to date point. He had passed enough of the list to make it to go out with her and to feed her, to invite her and to think of her and to feed her. Yet, because of the place in which he chose to take her, she said that she was upset and it was a bad date. Not because of the conversation, not because of anything else, but because of the fact that she doesn't like sandwiches. Unfortunately, when you
So
get into
how do
these,
we bring this to so man,
because she wasn't concerned about him. So back to like with that woman that
she
said, "Please just lie to me. Please just lie to me." Basically, you can say whatever the hell you want to about that diatribe that woman gave that man about how he acted his job and he smiled on these folks' face, right? But
Mhm.
the moral of the story was she was saying when you come home, she was doing too much counting because she was looking at how he was acting at work and presenting at work. So she thinks because she wasn't at his job, they didn't work together. In my assumption. But
Yeah.
she was like, you down there smiling in their face and being all cool and cheery. And then when you come home, you're not peppy and excited and this and that. So I'm catching hell here. And he's saying, wait a second, something got to give. I can't, if I'm there and I'm fake and I'm here and I'm real, or if I'm there and I'm real, that's going to mess up with the bread. So I got to pick a spot.
sandwich. I'm think sandwich girl wanted
Mhm.
a guy
Mhm.
made from her rib, right?
Yeah, small guy.
Versus him having a woman made from his, right?
Right. Well,
Okay.
the thing about it is, here's the deal. There's a construction of peace that exists within a home, within a relationship long term, right? And the reality of it is you have to pick your spots to secure and defend peace. She didn't care about his peace because I don't know what she was doing all day before he got there. I don't know how dogmatic her job was or how, the work environment was that she
Yeah.
went into if she had a work environment. But for whatever reason, she felt like to hell with whatever you got going on there. When you get here, I need you to be this fake person. Insert fake
Yeah.
person here when you walk through the door. And that was sad. That was very sad. I
But
agree with you.
she was like a puppy
Mhm.
waiting on him to get home with all this energy. He's like, man,
Mhm.
I've been working all day.
Mhm.
Do you detect, because I do, some
Mhm.
happiness hating in her? Because it seemed like when she saw him smiling at the job, she was kind of mad. Like, you
Correct.
smiling more there than you are here. That's too much
Well,
counting too.
it started with her saying, yes, I want you to lie to me. I think that was the first off-putting thing that was stated in
Okay.
that. And if you go back, people who go back and listen
Yeah.
to it, she started with, yes, I want you to lie to me because
So
I
let's
want to be in
assume the
that bliss.
question was, are you happy? Why aren't you smiling? Are you happy?
Right.
And he said no. And what question do you think she was answering when she said, yes, I want you to lie to me?
I think he was saying, do you want me to be fake when I come through the door? Do you want me to act like I'm not happy
So
being
how
there,
you
but I
think they
have to
got to
fake
that
it?
point?
I think that he was coming home and showing his true dismay in where his life was and where their relationship was. And she was like, "Hey, don't bring that shit in here. You,
Pretend that you
try,
happy.
don't try me. Try clothes on. You know what I'm saying?" And she did. She wanted to have a fake situation to just go along to get along in this relationship. I would be remiss if I did not bring up my favorite poem, and it's about the dynamics of Black people in the United States, and it could be all people, but it was specifically written by Paul Dunbar about Black people, and it goes in just a short part of it is: we wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay with human guile, while torn and bleeding, hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be otherwise in counting our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. And what it talks about is no matter how hard life is as a Black man, we have to go out and act like we got it, act like we're on it, act like we are,
Yeah.
of the world in that sense to keep up. And when you come home, you want that home to be your castle, your sanctuary, your peace. You want that opportunity when you walk through that door to be able to let the burdens of the world off your shoulder. And I believe, based on the commentary of them going back and forth, he was doing that. And she was like, "Stop bringing that sad shit in here.
Yeah, I
I
want
need
the
you to keep
fake
that
stuff.
same energy."
So I will sum up the poem in ghetto terms.
Right.
People in Black
Mm-hmm.
people in corporate America be Denzelin, right? We
Okay,
be
help me out.
acting.
Okay.
Denzelin is acting all day at the job. I think J. Cole
Right.
said it first,
Right.
but people start using it after J. Cole. We be at
Right.
the job Denzelin.
Right.
We're playing like our society is different. Like we listen to trap music, we listen to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go into your job with your CEO of your Fortune 50 company and say, "Hey, did you hear that new TI?"
Mm-hmm.
You have to Denzel in
Mm-hmm.
there and just say, "What did you do this weekend?" Even though your cousins was in a fight over the last chicken wing at the
Mm-hmm.
barbecue, you just go in there and say, "Oh, uneventful." That's
Right.
Denzeling.
Right.
So that's what you have to do there. But to your point, where does the working person who doesn't fit into typical society get to be free? Is it
It's
at
gotta
home?
be the house. It's gotta be. It's
But you got
gotta
a
be a
spouse who's
situation.
saying no.
I think that so you do a good thing about identifying deflection, right?
I
And
love
so instead of
identifying.
her owning that shit, instead of her saying, "Hey, you know what? I haven't been promoted in 17 years. I don't feel like I'm appreciated over here, so I need you to dig deep and give me extra appreciation when I get to the crib." But what you have to realize is that can be tiresome after a while. Y'all gonna have to trade off shifts. Y'all gonna have to let the world kind of tenderize y'all, and then y'all have to come home and heal each other. And it can't always be a simultaneous heal. I can't rub.
Man,
It doesn't
I don't
even
know. You just said something that struck me. I'm sorry.
go
I don't
ahead.
mean to
Give it
interrupt
to me.
you.
Go. You got it.
Once you are a wife,
Mm-hmm.
let's say a stay-at-home wife, how do you get promoted from that?
Through him,
Through him
man,
what?
through the team. So this is
Getting to
what
know
happens.
him closer, right?
Absolutely. By making him,
That's
this
why I
is
couldn't
what you
let you
do.
go on.
Yes, I agree with the stay-at-home wife. We were assuming and hoping that she was also gainfully employed, but now let's put her in a different category, right? Stay-at-home
Wait, you
wife.
assume she was
Your
gainfully
job.
employed?
What happens is women are so concerned about what other women are saying, and not so much focused on the results. They're concerned about other women's impression, that they feel like they have to do everything and be everything to be better than whomever that they don't even respect or look up to. And so the
So
idea
you
is,
you
go ahead.
assumed all the time that she was gainfully employed.
I did. I hoped. Yes, I did. I
I
did.
never
Because
assumed she was.
oh man, how could she act like he's supposed to act a certain way at a place she's never been? How is
I
she speaking
think
out of her
that
ass so much? She has no
I
idea what's
think
going on
because
there.
she doesn't know. I think because she has to be ignorant to it.
That's dangerous.
Damn. So I didn't know that you assumed she was working.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's even sicker because you're saying she goes to work and treat her boss the same way she treat her husband, in the same fake way.
Yes. No. See, here's the thing. I
Where
don't
does
think she's
she
treating
get
her
to be
husband.
free?
I don't think she's treating her husband in a fake way. I think that she generally wants to be a provider at home or a home manager or whatever the case may be. But I think that his energy is so depleted by the time he gets home, he can be appreciative of the meal or the bed being made or laundry being done, whatever the chores may be or whatever the case may be. But he can't outwardly show it day in and day out. And she's saying, hey, I need you to fake it to keep encouraging me because the world is also, that's what I was thinking. I thought the world was hard on all thlike black folks. So, because she used the term cracker, I think I'm stuck on the black folk part because she was like, you smelling them crackers face down at the job. like they getting something I'm not getting. And he's trying to tell her, yes, because the smiles pay the rent.
The smiles pay the rent. Yeah, he said the rent. So
the rent.
He really smiling. But she didn't say we smile at work for the crackers.
I agree.
So I'm thinking she at home.
That makes it worse. That makes it more egregious because you should be storing up enough energy based off of his provision, the things that he's providing financially for y'all to stay where y'all stay and for you to have, the soap operas, whatever you got going on at the crib, the phone and all this other stuff. And then your investment is to make sure he has a sanctuary to come home to and go out refreshed. Go back out into that world. You come in and you give him that pep talk and you give him that refreshment. One of the rules that I've had forever is that I don't mind life happening to you, but what I require is you not to blindside me with life when you come through the door. So if you had a bad day, we always ask, how was your day? How was work? The reason why we start with that is because the last thing I want you to do is transfer that negative energy onto me inappropriately. And so I need to know what's going on and I can give you that. And I'm here. If anybody's married, anybody been in a long-term relationship, there's times where you have to be the punching bag. There's time where you have to be the heavy, the person that, takes it on the chin. But when you doing it and you blindside me, it's the punch that you don't see that knocks you out. So at least give me a heads up and say, it's been a tough one. Traffic been bad, blah, blah, blah. The moral of the story is she got to the point where she didn't care about how traffic was. She didn't care about him being passed over for this job or him hurting himself at the job. When he came in, he had to change his face and put on a mask that she wanted to see as her husband or as her boyfriend, whatever they was going on.
She said verbatim, fake it with me.
She said, lie to me. She said, lie to me.
Lie
Yes.
to me. Fake it with me. First of all, disclaimer, when he's talking about punching bags metaphorically, no Diddy, no Cassie, anything. Right. But so absolutely. My question to you, fake it with me, lie to me.
Right.
How delusional is it for you to ask someone to lie to you and you know that they lying? Or is that healthy?
It depends on your mental state because for some women, ignorance is bliss. So there's something that I learned years ago, and it was the concept of having a conversation with a woman and giving her a choice. So let me explain. I'm with a woman and I meet another chick out and I lie to her and tell her I ain't got nobody and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. It's most likely better at a certain age. And obviously young me, that is going to happen guaranteed all the time. But at a certain age, it's better to be candid and forthright with this woman and give her the opportunity to decline. But I think as men, we go in thinking, I got to keep up the impression of who she believes me to be, the representative, in order to get the draws. And so you go in, now you got to keep this lie up. And then once it falls apart and emotions are involved, you wrong. You're absolutely wrong because she might have been able to ride out with you if you had just kept it real with her. She might have been fine being the replacement or the next Mrs. You if you had just been like, look, this is how I feel. This is what's going on. You caught me at an awkward moment. And blah, 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 blah. But when you remove that opportunity for her to make that choice, make that decision, now you're in a bad way because you absolved yourself of any trust going forward. That's the problem with these types of lies and these types of situations. So it's a misrepresentation of the facts. Go ahead.
Can we stay right there for a second?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, so the rule that she established and they agreed upon is lie to me.
He didn't agree
Fake
to
it
that.
with me,
He
right?
didn't. He didn't agree to
Huh?
that. But go ahead.
Let,
He
let
did
just
not
say
agree
he
to that.
did. Let's just
Okay,
say he
cool.
let's
All
say he
right, that's
agreed.
fine.
Let's say
That's
she
fine.
said it, she beat him down,
Right.
and he agreed.
Right.
And now he comes into the house smiling, and
Mm-hmm.
she says, "Do you find any women at work attractive? Are you sleeping with anybody at work?"
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
rule is lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
If
Absolutely.
he is,
Absolutely.
should he
Mm-hmm.
continue to lie about cheating on her?
He has to. He has to. Once the weapons is drawn,
But did
once
she
you
sign up for
establish
that?
a
Is that
baseline,
what she's
she
signing
did.
up for?
Absolutely, because she signed. This is what
You
she
think
wants. Women.
she would agree to
Um.
if she found him with a woman, would she be
Uh huh.
mad?
She
She
would be
would,
torn. She'd be torn up. She'd be torn up.
but he
The
asked her
reality
to
is,
lie.
he did. He did. Women
Which one
want
is it? Which one
everything.
is it?
Women want
To lie to
everything.
me
She
and
wants
tell
him
the
to
truth to
discern.
me?
Yes, yes. Lie to me. No, this is what she wants. She wants to be a woman and be made happy as much as possible. And if that happiness is culminating in you having to particularly lie to me about certain things, I need you to be smart enough to know what to lie to me about and keep out of my face and protect me from. And then I need you to also be wise enough to know where to involve me and I can handle it. Even as my emotions go up and down, even as menopause hits, even as all these other things are going on in the world and it's raining and I'm on my period, all these things that you got going on, I'm supposed to calibrate when to be candid with you and forthcoming, when to be transparent, like we talked about in our relationship or in our old episode. When to be transparent and when to be honest, when to be forthcoming, these words are different for a reason. But the idea of me having to tell you, that's exhaustive for me to figure out where you are in your emotion that day. And it aligns with she said something and I can't go by what you mean. I can only go by what you say. And she said lie to me. Therefore, that's what's going to happen all day, every day going forward. But what she meant was guard me from things that will stress me out or make my day less fulfilling. And therefore, because of the way in which his life was going and his job was going, he would have to then lie. He would have to lie and act like it ain't what it is, which is super stressful on him. But he was supposed to take this L to
Hmm.
shield her from the world, basically, to shield her from the world.
So her
Yep.
lied to me. She said, "If
Mhm.
you love me, you will lie to me." Basically.
Absolutely. She said that. She said that verbatim. Absolutely.
So, if you love me, you will lie to me, so I can be
Mhm.
happy. Is
Yes.
love? She's in this relationship to make herself happy. Is that love from her?
This is what she believes. And I'm now, ooh, I wish we had her on now. But this is what she believes. She believes happy wife, happy life. And I am of the opinion, anybody that's heard our previous episodes, I believe happy spouse, happy house, right? I don't think it's just that women have to be happy in order for
Oh, it's
things to
not
go
going to
right.
work
I
that
think
way.
people have to be happy for things to go right. And you have to find your own level of happiness and content. You have to find your own personal understanding of what keeps you excited. And no, you don't have to be. You said something very wise, and it was in a business setting. And it was, why do you feel like you have to be happy at your job? Jobs are transactional. You come do a job and they give you a check. Why do you also have to worry about their fucking carbon footprint and and hot cocoa in the break room and all of that? That's not what
Right.
these. But we've gotten over time, we've forgotten about the transactional business nature of employment, and I believe that we've forgotten
That's
about the
some
transactional
deflection there.
personal nature. We've forgotten about the transactional personal nature of relationships.
Damn. Yeah.
It's transactional. It's
It's
personal.
trans.
Don't get me wrong,
It's
but it's
yeah. It's
transactional.
personal. But when
Mm-hmm.
you tell me that you rather have free coffee and donuts at work,
Mm-hmm.
and the company provides that, they have just spent some of your salary on that. They didn't spend their
Your
own.
potential, your potential
Yeah,
salary. Absolutely,
your potential salary. So
absolutely.
what you're really saying, I forego some of my salary so
Mm-hmm.
you can lie to me and bring these donuts and coffee in here and say that
Mm-hmm.
you care.
I
That's
think we
insane.
overlook it, but we're overlooking the bigger subplot of all this. If you're demanding that I lie to you to keep you smiling and happy, I have no choice but to believe you've been lying to me.
No, I was there. I was going to say you treat your boss the way you treat me, and that is not right. That is not
Right.
right. Cause that no,
Absolutely.
no, cause
Absolutely. And that's not honest.
yeah,
That's
no,
disgenuine.
dang, you're
That's
right though.
disgenuine.
She has her smiles are fake, right?
Absolutely. She's wearing a mask in this relationship.
So what she be doing at the house all day? Uh-huh. Miss Geraldine?
Too much counting. Too
Yeah.
much counting, obviously. Too much counting. But she's telling you how to operate and react in this relationship. Now, what I am saying is,
Oh, can we stay there for a second? Or will
yeah,
you
we
forget your
can.
point?
No, I won't at all.
You said she's telling him how to react in this relationship.
Yes.
He said, I can't lie to you. I love you. She said, you must.
That is correct.
If you speed that up, because I think that was an older clip. So if you bring that into 2024, she's saying what them chicks be saying, like, well, a real man would lie to me. A real man to
Absolutely.
do this and that. She's
Absolutely.
manipulating him, right?
What she's also saying, to bring it into the 24s, is that I'm a lot to deal with, and you have to make adjustments because unlike other women you've been involved with, I require this level of duplicity or this level of assessment, and
Ooh.
it takes extra. It takes
Can,
extra outside of. It takes extra to keep me entertained or excited or with you.
can we break down a lot to deal with a little bit more there?
Yeah, of course.
A lot to deal with means I need to be raised. I need guardrails.
I'll give you guardrails because they believe that without those things, they will then diverge back into the woman that they've tried to grow away from. You know, we have a
Or the
co-host that
girl,
talks about
or the
her
baby
past
girl.
or the baby girl. Yes, but the reality of it is they made a lot of mistakes within their womanhood that they're paying for now, which is how you ended up with her. These are not conversations for high school sweethearts. We're not having a podcast for mugs that figured it out and got it right the first time. You know what I'm saying? Her dreams
We
and what
can
goes,
at some point.
what the problem with that is, what do her dreams have to do with you? Do you know how hard it is to calculate and calibrate a shared dream? Think about that. The me and you cool as hell. We've been cool for years. You tell me you have a dream and I just happen to have the same fucking dream. What's the chances of that? So to think that a woman, a good woman that's ready to be a wife, has the same dream that I do, we got to have some compromise and some calculations as it relates to how we build a common dream. But
I don't
her
even
thing
know
was,
if that even works.
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
If both
It's
of
hard
y'all
to.
say, I want to own a bubble tea shop, me too.
Right. Right.
If both of y'all need to do it, you're going to conflict because both of you want to own one. If you
Correct.
say, I like making tea, and then you say, I
Right.
like owning a shop, then y'all could get together. No, I'm with you. Go ahead.
But I think once you go into co-ownership, I think there is a lot of interdependency that occurs within a marriage, a long-term
I think you
successful
got to
marriage.
say, I always wanted to co-own a shop.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
own it, it's going to be some conflict.
No, well, here's the situation. It could be before you met this person, you always wanted to own something. And now that you're with this person, the idea of co-ownership has been presented to you and you could do that. You could, because
It's
you're getting the
easier.
best of
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
getting the best of everything. And so, but this concept of just like a wedding, right? Making her dreams come true shouldn't have that much to do with you. But you got dudes that take out loans and leverage stuff to make this lavish wedding and engagement party and all this other stuff. And dudes, you got dudes coming down the aisle nowadays. Let's just keep it real. And so dudes need to feel like they're getting a return on investment. But the reality of it is the honeymoon sex, let's just keep it a buck right here. The honeymoon sex that a nigga that elope gets is so similar, if not the same, as the honeymoon sex from a $30,000 wedding ceremony.
Damn. I never thought about the caliber. Because if you gave,
she's only as good as she is.
It's not a
She's
courthouse.
not better because the 30K.
Courthouse sex is the same as the 30,000.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She don't even get wet looking through the wedding album. Let's just keep it 100. Like, come on, bro. That is such a fleeting. If you talk a financial advisor, they will tell you that's one of the biggest money problems that you could have in an industrialized society or a common life is the expense that you don't gain any assets from. I shouldn't feel like to have this wedding and to invest in your dream, you are the asset that I have purchased, because that would be diminishing to the woman that went to Jamaica or went to the courthouse or whatever as an asset, as a human being or a life partner. These are the same life partner in the eyes of the court at this point. We signed the same ink on the same type of paperwork in the same state, but you needed to have fanfare and an Instagram count that's charged to the wedding. Like your wedding got its own Instagram account, and you got me going through all these hoops and hurdles and paying for it. And let's say you got a daddy. For those who have a daddy, cool, and your daddy chooses to invest in this, he's just blown X number of dollars, 15,000, 30,000, 50,000, whatever it is, that's blown. That's never coming back. That's never coming back. You got people eating and dancing and drinking and saying, whoo, that was a memory. You just bought $30,000 worth of other people's memories. But the fact is, that night and the rest of that marriage, you're as good as you're going to be, no matter how much I paid for this wedding.
That's
I'm sorry.
that's
I'm sorry to do that to you.
yeah, that's eye opening. No, thank you.
I know.
Shit, I'm gonna look at the courthouse.
I know. We already had an episode on you for marriage and me against marriage, so I didn't want to do that at the time because you were so excited.
Yeah, I was for it. I'm still for it, but now you know what type I'm for.
Right.
So what about the delusion that she was said, I don't care that you lying to me. I just care that you're here. She wants the best, what she's calling the best part of him. Yeah. But they disagree on the best part. He think he's giving her the best part, which is the real him. Correct. She wants the best part, that's this fake smile. What do you think about?
I think it's sad, like you said the term sad in the beginning of this, but it's sad that she's so willing to sign up to lying to herself. Because so to me, this is equivalent to people who set their clock. It's so much better with cell phones now, but it was people back in the days used to set their clock 10 minutes faster because they constantly would be late.
I know people
instead of just accepting that listen, that's not the answer because you said it. Nobody's snuck and set the shit 10 minutes faster. You're lying to yourself.
Right.
So therefore, how about you just care enough about you to stop doing that? And unfortunately, she wants for him to perpetrate the fraud and to be in a position where he openly and acceptedly lies to her selectively. Where I see the downfall of this relationship is he's going to start getting good at it. The more you practice something, the better you become at it. Yeah. And then it's hard for you to create a line of demarcation to where this is where I stop lying and where I begin lying. I had a quote before where I said that I pretended the man that I wanted to be until I became him or he became me. So if you just lie enough, some truth will start to seep into that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she wants him to lie into a life of bliss on her behalf, but she doesn't care about curing what's going on at the job. She's not saying, hey, if that job is doing that to your soul, let's find another job for you. Let me hold it down here. I've decided that I'm going to start baking cookies or doing this or doing that to give us some. I've been saving up since I realized how bad you had it down there with them crackers. I've been saving up and we got 6 months worth of rent. And so you got 4 months to get it right, get it tight. Do you know how strong that would make that man? Do you know how excited he would be to go out there because you just showed that support?
Hercules, but instead you or said, whoever pulled his sword out the rock, that's strong. Yeah.
So in the idea of, instead, she said, keep going through that downtrodden, abyss that you're in at your job. But when you come here, act like you're not doing that. I need you to be Denzel, like you said, Denzelin. And he ain't long for this world. This is why women outlive men all the time.
Yeah. Because he's taking it in. He has to hold it in for her.
Absolutely.
My question to you is, does she love him then? In your opinion, does she love him?
Yes, but not more than she loves herself.
Loving somebody is selfless concern.
I agree. She put her first though. She put her mask on first. I know they say that on the airplane, but I'll be down.
You don't love your kid if you they mask on first, right?
That's right. While you passing out, you dying in front of them.
Right.
Right?
Who's
So
gonna take care of him? Okay,
exactly.
does he love her?
I think the fact that he was willing to communicate it and show his concern for her perspective shows me that he loves her. I think he's confusing this permission that she's giving him to lie if and only if it makes her feel better, because feelings are fluid at best. Like things change and feelings change, and he's setting himself up for a failure if he thinks that this is a sustainable contract. This is just not a good, because one day she's going to say, she's going to question something. And when he says, well, yeah, I lied about that, she's going to say, why would you do that? Like this, come on, bro. We've been through too many situations where
You're right.
women want to hear what they want to hear when they want to hear it, but that's all over the place. If you want to be with a schizophrenic person, they make them. Go to some kind of, you know what I'm saying?
You
Go
can
to
find them already
150.
diagnosed.
Man, exactly. You can get these bugs prepackaged, and you can have 17 different relationships. But
What
the
I
reality
think,
of it is, she never asked him, "What can I do to make it better?"
yeah,
Based on
right.
what we heard, the clip.
Yeah.
Number two, and most importantly, she, like Dave Chappelle said, every time my wife say we need to talk, it's about some shit I need to do.
Right, because she bored.
So she didn't have a plan of. She didn't say, "This is what I'm going to do,
Right,
and this is what I need you to do."
right. No,
He said, "This
no.
is what I
It was no
need
break
you
in
to
the
do."
huddle. Right.
Man, absolutely,
Nah,
and
that huddle was
that was sad.
everything you need to do.
Exactly.
So I think you said one thing that happens is the dude is gonna hold it in and he's gonna have a heart attack. He's gonna bust. His chest gonna bust.
Yeah.
Another thing that can happen is he needs to be real somewhere. So he will be real somewhere.
He will.
He is
With
going to
someone.
find someone who allows him to be
Absolutely.
real.
To be
And
his
then when
authentic self.
she come back and
100%.
say, I can't believe you with that ugly chick. Look at me. I get my hair and nails done. She don't do none of that. But what she does do is allow him to be real. And you
So
could have had this.
there's a gentleman, and I'm notorious for quoting a gentleman named Jeff Fort, right? Who started a gang in Chicago. And one of the things he said is, ain't gonna be no killing without killing. And so
I use that phrase today.
In this instance, what that means for this is his first response, if he had been like me and forward thinking, would have been, okay. He would have absorbed what she said, and like what the kids say, I received that. I received that. But his next response should have been, and what will you be doing? How does this benefit me? Because if we're talking about something that's not mutual benefit, like you said, good faith negotiation. If you're talking about something that's not mutual beneficial for us in our relationship, we ain't talking about a damn thing.
Yeah, if somebody give you an okay, it's a Mississippi okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I didn't see anywhere in her whole demeanor where she was accepting the fact that she would have to meet him halfway or change these things or do things that he's been asking for or that she knows he likes. In her mind, she was perfect and he needed to get better. He needed to pimp his game up to be as perfect as she was.
Yeah.
And I have a belief that if she was that perfect, he wouldn't be sad so much.
Right.
He would be excited to get home to perfection.
The great Ricky Bell said, tell me when will I see you smile again?
Right.
He was trying to do something to work it out.
Absolutely.
But she don't want to know. She don't care when or how she can make him smile. Just do it.
Man, she needed that done. And I think when you put it all on that person, it's overwhelming. It's not sustainable. And any woman that's like that knows that they've ran off many a dude because they have this mentality that they're a prize or that they should be fawned over, or you should, like I said, I'm a lot to deal with. And that man can't. I intimidate a lot of dudes. You can give whatever qualification you want to your ability to run a good mug off.
But I know no dude that I know that's intimidated by a woman.
Here's the funny part. Think about this from a male and female dynamic. And women can please comment or get up with us and let us know when this has happened. I've never heard a dude say, I'm too much for women. Never heard a dude say emotionally.
I'm a lot.
Man, I'm a lot for a woman to handle. Now they be bragging physically, and they just talking shit. But when you say day in, day out psychologically, I'm a lot for a woman to think about. I'm a dude. Listen to my voice. Imagine I'm that dude for you. I'm a lot for a woman to handle. The first thing you think of is physical. If a woman says to a dude, I'm a lot for a man to handle, he thinks she's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be mental. You're right.
It's only mental. This is real simple. And so stop doing that. Stop being that. Why are you okay with aligning yourself with something that's not successful in long-term relationships?
Don't
Unless, in
brag
fact,
on
you
that.
don't want a
Like you
long-term
would
relationship.
say,
That's not a
don't
brag.
brag on stuff that
Man.
is negative.
It's just silly. And so, yeah, that woman told that man to lie to her. And she told him that she wants the same treatment that these people that he could give a fuck about gets. And he has to then be confused. And ultimately, the craziest part about all that was it came back down to a financial contract because he said, my smiles pay this rent.
Yeah, and we don't know where he worked. Let's say he worked
Right.
the front counter at McDonald's.
Right.
You smile is part of the job.
It's
Why
part
would
of
you
it.
do that?
It's in the handbook. It's in the training manual. Absolutely.
Right. But so
Absolutely.
my question to you,
Mhm.
and we're gonna take it back to one of the first episodes
Mhm.
of this season. Is she nagging?
If that's the first time, no. And I know you and I vehemently disagree on this. If that's the first time he's hearing about it, and based on his facial expressions, if y'all go see the video, based on his facial expression, he was like, where the fuck is this coming from? Where's this selfishness coming from?
Really? I think she nagging because she said it 10, 15 times within that 30 seconds.
She did, but she had reached the threshold where she needed to vent. A lot of things what you have to realize in relationships is it's not about the thing. It's about something else, but they're not willing to face that other thing. And so they make it about this thing and they make it about you and your problem. And so dudes,
humor me
she's
then.
going deep into that. Yeah.
What do you think her frustration is then?
She's not living the life that she wanted to live. So two things happen here. She chose the wrong man. It's not enough. She chose the wrong dude, and now she's trying to get him to get sponsors and mentors and pimp his game up because she done settled down with this cat and then realized I thought you was better than that. How? I've never showed you better than this.
Damn.
She didn't say your new job. She said your job down there. You know what I'm saying? Like this has been going on. I've been gainfully employed and having these issues or having these situations at work. But now you're making me feel like I can't even come confide in you at the crib. I can't even tell you about my bad days. And if this is not a sanctuary for me to unload and kick back, where is that? It's either at church, at the therapist's office, or at my side piece crib.
Yep. Depends on how you want to take it.
So
take it there,
the church,
we can.
Here's the funniest part. All of them cost money that's going out the house. We just got to figure out which one costs the least.
Yeah, but the church and the side piece could both be at the same place.
Oh, damn.
So I think she is being lazy. My personal.
She is.
I think she can't figure out how to make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying, since I can't figure it out, just fake it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Yeah, take the burden off me. But I think it's a defeatist attitude. And I'll tell you this as my final point. Whenever you don't start a pivotal conversation with a question, you're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong.
Go deeper on that one day. Yeah.
We will. But yeah, it should have started with, what can I do? What is going on? Why is this? Or whatever. She came out and said, hey, if you don't love me, if you love me, you would lie to me. That's absolutely not a question. That's a statement and a proclamation. It's almost an ultimatum.
Yeah. It's almost an ultimatum, and it's an attack. I would say,
it is,
and bullying.
Absolutely, she put him on the defense.
You are not a real man, and you're wrong, and you're insufficient because you're not doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and if people hear this and they're not picking that up, this is not for you. You're not smart enough. Stop listening to us. We're too smart. But if you're smart enough, you realize exactly what we're saying. Whether you agree with it or not, these are hollow points, right? That's the naming convention says. These are points. They're not solid. They're hollow. We were very clever in how we named it. And the idea of, because I've gotten so much feedback this season, more than any other, of, I don't like you, I don't like him, y'all wrong. Who gives a fuck what you think? These are hollow. These are our points. Now, if you want to
Well,
come
they can
and
listen
express your
still.
points, you know what I'm saying? Look, they
They
can't
can
help it. This,
they
good,
can
bad, or
still
different. This is
listen
the
because
fucking
that's how
game.
you
Like,
learn
this is
how to exchange ideas.
absolutely,
Most
absolutely,
people think they can communicate but don't know how to exchange intelligent ideas. And it
absolutely,
starts with the question most of the time, like you said.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I just think that this level of relationship advice or perspective on men and women dynamics, it can go over people's head because some people feel compelled to live out the curse that they've established. They feel like I chose this bad person, so I'm damned to be with this bad person that doesn't fulfill my spirit or is not my soulmate or whatever. And I'm just going to ride it out because we ain't getting no younger. We might as well do this. You know, it's just sad that love is out there for people to sustain and gain and hold and enjoy if they are willing to do the things and put the effort in to sustain and gain and hold and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's just the nature. That's the nature of things. And so, you know, just for all of you that are smart enough to understand where we're coming from and have your own opinions. That don't mean I'm not saying you're smart because you agree with us. That would be stupid. But just if you
Express your
understand
thoughts.
our
Yeah.
perspective, yeah, then let it out. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality of it is when life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic.
I know you said that was your final point, but I have one more question for you. I want you to be the dude walking in the house. And imagine your wife said this to you. What's your
Mhm.
response?
And I'm true to it, dog. I'm really true to it. I let her get hers off, and I said, "Where is this coming from?" Because unfortunately, we talked about this in season 1. A lot of this shit that causes problems in relationships don't even be about her. It'd be about aunties, cousins, and girlfriends saying shit to her
True. True.
that she's then taking a piece of our relationship to them.
Hmm.
They're making a whole pie out of that piece, and then she's trying to feed that pie to me. So my first thing is confusion and dismay. And what the fuck? What are you talking about? And then I need to go deeper into analyzing how did we get
Yeah.
to this point.
Right.
And so, yeah, so my first thing, if she come to me with, "Hey, I need you to come in here with a little more pep in your step and be happier to see me," then I need to say, "Okay, cool. Why should I?" And that's no disrespect to her. But then
Hmm.
if I do this, then what? Because theoretically, I do that. I put extra effort into this and
Uh-huh.
everything seems the fucking same. That's not
Yeah.
good math. The math
Right.
ain't mathing. That's not a good return on investment. So just tell me you don't want me. It's funny because for years,
Because that's somebody else you want with the big cheese on his face.
I'm telling you this. I've been told this to my face at least, I'm going to say 20 times. If we were to ask her, she would probably say 100. At the point you realize that you don't want to be in this, just tell me. Just tell me. You don't have to treat me bad. You don't have to put hands on me. You don't have to do none of that. I'm such a fucking grown woman that if you just tell me this ain't it and it ain't
Hmm.
gonna work, I'll believe you.
I stand up. So I would say if I'm in those shoes and this
Mhm.
lady came to me with these declarations to lie to me and all this stuff, my response would be, bitch, when you start looking up to Billie Holiday?
This concludes another episode of the Hollow Points Podcast, where we act as your therapeutic outlet on topics many think about but are afraid to speak on.
Oh, you're welcome.